So that's when Jason says, "Oh, I live in LA." And the guy who has a heavy Southern accent is like, "I could never live there. No, I can't have a gun there. I know people with guns. Of course you can have a gun there." He goes, "Yeah, but you can't walk around with it." Jason's like, "Are you a sheriff?" But remember, he's in narrow-toe pajamas. Just keep that in mind. And by this point, my gummies have kicked in, so I'm high as can be. This is the Inkpulp Podcast. Yo, and welcome.
What a nice start.
Yeah, Eric would hate that.
Which, by the way,
he would have gone black by now.
Already gives us the chance to talk shit about Eric, who's not here. He decided at the last second, and we weren't important enough for him, so he decided not to join us for this episode.
Yeah,
and
fuck
him.
Let's be honest about fuck Eric.
him.
And then he comes on the show and he just takes over.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
He's obnoxious when he's here. And then sometimes he decides just not to be here. So fuck him. We were even planning on having like black T-shirts in his honor this time. Yep. Because he always had this boring black T-shirts. So for once, we wanted to make him happy, and the fucker didn't even show up. So at the last second, we changed it to a new addition to our Fratelli. The Fratelli, how do you call it? Apparel.
Oh, yeah, the Fratelli fashion line,
which you bought
in New York.
Which you bought in New York a few weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
And because we're there
hold on one sec. Before we get into it, hold on. I just want to say to everyone, welcome to the Inkpulp Podcast. I am here, your host, Shawn, Crystal, Inkpulp, joined by my brother from another mother, the dumb shark himself, Mattteo Scalera.
Yo!
Oh,
by the way, let me check this thing. All right. So I'm gonna say a word, octopus. Okay. Let me know when you receive, like when you hear the word, just say heard it. All right. Octopus.
Okay. Heard it. I heard it immediate.
Let's do it again. I want to check if this time there's this usual delay. Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Octopus.
Heard it.
All right. So it was like, I still have the delay. I was hoping that with the new equipment.
That's the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I was hoping that with the new equipment, things would get better, but they're still shitty because of the Wi-Fi. Because I have a new computer, and I have, maybe people won't notice, but I have a new camera. So now I'm officially a professional podcaster.
You've caught up to me and fuckbag Eric boy.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know about you. You don't look like, but Eric, I think he also has the fucking light, like the Instagram.
Oh, Eric has the light.
Influencers.
Yes, and he also has the lens cap, the polarizing lens cap. Like he's got all kinds of shit.
What does that do?
In fact, I'm not even sure. It makes the contrast bigger.
Okay.
Like good photography. If you're shooting outside, you'll put a polarizing cap on, and it just makes everything look nicer. It makes your darks darker and your lights lighter.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice little touch.
Gotcha. But did he do it on purpose for the Inkpulp podcast, or it was something that he already was building up?
No, he did it not just for this podcast, but for all of his internet stuff. Like whenever he's on camera, he has that beautiful effect.
Okay, gotcha.
That angelic effect of Eric. Fucker.
So back to the New York Comic Con. All right. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
First thing first, since we've been talking about which show to do, and of course that dumb fuck Eric was like, no, it's not, it's not convenient for me anymore. I mean, we had a great show. And once again, we
had an amazing show.
Once again, New York Comic Con proves to be one of the shows to be, at least. That's my opinion.
I agree.
I'm not ready to skip it. I've heard some of our colleagues that were not happy with this time in general.
Really? With this year?
Yeah. A couple of people were like, probably I'm gonna skip next year. But
why? Did they say why?
The same reason that Eric brought up, meaning, it's expensive to be here, and at the end of the day, it's not, the balance between how much money I made and how much
was it European guests?
No. It was a person from our group. And they decided, I mean, who knows what's going to happen a year from now, but they told me they decided not to do it next year. But generally speaking, I can't complain at all with this show. How about you, man?
Well, see, I went into this show thinking this will be probably my last year doing it, because I was fed up with all the corporate big business side of it, the expense of doing it. Hotels have gotten so expensive, which I found out why. The New York City outlawed Airbnbs. So shit. All the hotels were able to drive up their prices. So I was like, this is it. I'm not going to do this shit anymore. But I had such a great show, and there's so many things that happen that make me realize this is an important show to do. And it's not just about the money you make at the show, but career stuff and friend stuff. It's the only place you're going to see everyone, and shit's going to happen.
How about did you make new connections and stuff? And
I totally did. I mean, I have a potential Spawn cover gig. I don't know if it'll happen, but that came up because of the show.
When you were talking about it.
Yeah, so that's exciting. And then the cards I'm doing, they came by and they locked me down for all of next year. So I can't complain about any of that. But even better.
Way, sorry to interrupt, but I gotta do this segue.
Yeah.
Since you were talking about Spawn.
Go ahead.
Can we say it? Can we say it?
Yeah, because the week after this comes out, it will be out. So say it.
Okay, so next week we'll have, ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT.
Are you ready for this? Yes.
Mr. Todd McFarlane.
The Todd Father himself is coming onto the Inkpulp Podcast.
Yes. Fuck yeah,
which is crazy. What's crazy is, it's going to be fucking awesome. What's crazy is the amount of love we got at New York Comic Con for this podcast.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Coming by.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? Like, I don't know if I told you, but the first night we arrived at the hotel, and I went downstairs at a certain time. It was evening, just to smoke a cigarette. So I was walking back and forth on the how do you call it? Where you walk?
The street?
The place where you walk.
The sidewalk.
The sidewalk. Fuck.
Sidewalk.
And and there's a guy that's passing on by, and then after a few seconds he screams like, "Hey Mattteo, love the podcast." Just out of the blue. Just out of the blue.
It was fucking awesome.
Fucking amazing, man. And all the fans, a lot of people stopped by at the table just saying they were a huge fan of the podcast. A guy, I don't know if you recall his name, dropped 3 amazing drawings of the 3 of us.
Oh, I have mine. Let me get mine. Keep talking. I'm gonna grab mine.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna, if you have the scans, for it. We can ask for them because you. Oh no, I got mine. You have yours and Eric's.
I have mine and Eric's.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's show it when Eric comes on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that way we can get the scans in and Jamie can pop them up.
Yeah. Because I wanna show them properly.
But also,
oh yeah, the bracelets. Yeah, absolutely. Another fan from Panama.
Yeah, we got these.
Yeah. I think I don't want to misspell his name or anything like that. If I do, I apologize to him. I think his name is Danny Chung. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
if
I
I made some mistakes, I'm sorry, man. But he made these amazing bracelets. He's a guy from Panama, and he comes to the show. He goes to New York every year with his brother, I think, or cousin. I don't remember. Again, sorry if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And he made this amazing bracelet with a Inkpulp colors, so white, blue, and black.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, we didn't finish talking about the other fan who did 3 drawings.
Yeah, talk about that.
Of the 3 of us, and they're basically related. Every drawing was related to a specific attributes, a specific thing, So mine,
you got it.
I was the dumb shark. Eric was the truth bomb, and you were Eeyore.
That's right.
But we're gonna scan them properly and send them to Jamie so we can actually see them. I don't know if we're gonna show them here on this episode or the one after.
Let's do it with Eric.
Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it after McFarlane because I want Eric to see it. Eric hasn't even seen it yet.
And all of this enthusiasm,
but yeah, so
for the podcast brought me to think that we should have some merch, some stuff, some some stuff related to the podcast to have at shows. Maybe stickers, pins, and stuff like that. So maybe T-shirts. Who knows?
We'll do some giveaways and we'll do some merch, like some freebies and some shit you can buy. Because it was evident to us this podcast is becoming a thing. People are enjoying it. I mean, and the reason I was saying that is McFarlane's people came to us. We didn't even approach them.
Oh yeah,
they came to us because Todd wanted to come on. And that's thanks to Jonathan Glapion.
Oh, yeah. For who's going to be another great guest of the podcast? It's going to be happening in a few weeks from now. But yeah. And
yep.
And yeah. Oh, another good thing I'll start by listing good things and bad things. So one bad thing is that this time we weren't able to hang out that much in New York. Because I brought my family. Yeah. So,
yeah. But how was that? Tell me what it was like to have your family at New York Comic Con.
I mean, it was, basically they were never at the show. The only time where they showed up, it was on Saturday because it was raining. And after 30 minutes, my girlfriend came back at the table just looking at me like this. And she was like, I'm never gonna come here again. I hate this place. It's a fucking nightmare. So, but no, it was nice to bring them with me. But one thing that I've realized, and I don't know if I already talked about it. No, because the last episode was Humberto Ramos. So we didn't have the chance to talk about it. But one thing that happened is that, this is what normally happens for me. Okay. So we show up at the show. We do the show for the whole day. It lasts until 7. Sometimes we leave a little earlier. Sometimes we leave at 7. But from then on, I know that I don't have anything else to think about because everything's set up thanks to my fratello. Everything's set up. I don't have to be stressed about anything else. I don't have to think. And also, we usually even share the room, so I don't even need a text telling me be there at this specific time. I'm with you. So I'm just following the leader here.
Yes.
You know, so I have a chance. I have a few hours after every show to decompress and, you know, turn off my brain.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to think about anything else until, you know, the very next day.
Exactly.
And in this case.
And you usually get a bottle of bourbon that we can have in the room. And we can sit down and have a drink. Yep.
But in this case, once my job stopped at the show, another job will start, which is, now I have to be the guy, the Shawn for my group of people. Because my girlfriend, our boy, and my girlfriend's friend were there, and they're not familiar with New York. So I'm the guy who's organizing the, you know, all the dinners. What time do I have to get there? What time does it take to get there? How much time does it take to get there? So every time I'm like the guy, guys, it's getting late. We gotta go. You know, and all that shit. So basically, I would start working at 8 a.m. and stop working at 11 p.m. And it was too much, honestly. So next time I'm going to bring the family.
That's a lot.
I'm not going to do it when there's a show. I'm going to do it,
that's a good idea.
in another, just for vacation, and that's it. Because the other times where I brought family, it was when I had a European show. So I just had, to sign stuff. And then my job was done for the day. So it was way easier than to, catch up with my family and do other shit. So we were saying?
I would recommend taking your family to New York around Christmas time. Mm-hmm. It's really a beautiful time to see the city, and there's lots of stuff to see, and all the Christmas lights and Rockefeller Center and the tree and all that's awesome. It's beautiful. It's cold, but it's pretty.
That's what scares me. It's the cold because I've been the first edition of New York Comic Con that I did was in February.
The February show.
Oh my God. I wanted to die. Brutal. Like I literally would get out of the hotel dressed up as a ninja, basically. You couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
Other than just my eyes popping out, my scarf and my hat. And I would wear like tights underneath my pants for how cold it was. It was a fucking nightmare. So
it's brutal.
So, but I don't know. That probably December is not so that cold.
Yeah, it's December's not as cold as February. Mm-hmm. December's cold, but it's not like that show. That show is particularly brutal. Like the cold was, and it was real. Do you remember the wind?
Oh yeah, it was windy.
So windy
because I can deal with cold, but cold and windy at the same time, it's a fucking nightmare.
That was awful.
So yeah,
that was terrible.
And
that was terrible. But
go on.
I was going to say, we were talking about the cost of the show being so much, but that's part of what drove this year's cost up. Was I had a room for me. My daughter came with me, but she's 21, so my hotel room, I ate the whole cost of that. Where typically we share it between me and you, and usually another person. It used to be Eric, but it's been Loli or Leah lately. Yeah. So that helps. That helps with the costs. But I knew you weren't going to be coming to the dinners. Of course, I had room for you and your family any night you wanted to come. But I knew there was one night that Mattteo would dump the family and come with us. And I know Matteo's love of good Asian food.
Oh, yeah.
So I tried to plan that night to be the experience. And I got to say, I think that might be the most impressive restaurant we've ever been to.
Oh yeah, man! Especially the actual place. Like it was incredible, man. The food was really good, but I already had other pretty good experiences all around in the States.
Yeah,
but the place was something else, man.
Yeah,
it was mesmerizing.
Yeah, it was. It was amazing. If you're ever in New York, or if you live there, it's Tao downtown.
Yeah,
or pronounced Dow, but it's TAO, and that place is crazy. It's it's like a Blade Runner restaurant. Like it's insane in there, and it's huge. It feels like it was an old theater.
Yeah.
And the seating is all like you're like towards this central sculpture. That was where the stage was. But I got to say, I had something there that blew my mind. And it was an old fashioned, but the bourbon was infused with duck fat. And you could taste the duck fat. And that was a phenomenal alcohol experience. That drink was crazy good.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you like that place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I gotta say I've ordered like some dumplings as a starter, and those were like phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then I had some other. I don't remember. I don't recall if it was pad thai or something else. And that was good,
you got pad thai,
but not amazing. I would say maybe a little too sweet, probably.
Right. Okay.
But it was well made. I mean, I could tell. It's probably me after if something is too sweet, I can't have too much of it. And another thing, it's probably I didn't pick the right wine for that dinner. I gotta admit, that's on me. I mean, I've ordered a Traminer, which is a really aromatic. I don't know, does that word exist in English? It has a lot of aroma.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Aromatic.
But probably if I could go back in time, that's where I would change my pick for the wine. But that's, again, it's on me. It's not their fault. So
was the wine not great to you, or was it that it didn't pair with your meal very well? It didn't
pair. It was a little too weak, if it makes sense. Probably we needed something more with more volume, more strength, probably.
Sure.
And but I wasn't familiar with any, basically almost any of those wines. So I basically picked kind of randomly. And the eggplants were fucking amazing.
I was just gonna say those eggplant was insane.
Yeah.
That was the best thing I think I tasted. That and the cauliflower that I got. That cauliflower was crazy.
I didn't try those ones. Probably they had meat in it or something. But yeah.
No, it was just cauliflower.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was
next time.
It was super crunchy.
Next time, really brother. Good. Next year.
Yeah. But yeah, for sure. Oh, we're going back. We're definitely going back. But I will say that the eggplant blew my mind.
Yeah,
I
those
couldn't
were
believe
good.
How good that
was. They were basically like saute or something. Like the technique of cooking was like in a pan probably. But then they had this kind of spicy mayo on it that was incredible.
It was insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was insane. That shit was good. So how was the show for you professionally? Like when you go to New York Comic Con, I mean, you're going to make a lot of money because you're so popular and you get your commissions. But do you do any other business while you're there aside from like doing commissions?
Not really, to be honest with you. I mean, there's always people that ask me to be at their show. So this year there was a guy from Denmark, and I think Jim Mahfood is friend with him. Yeah. This guy's name is Arnie.
Yeah, Jim went.
Yeah,
Arnie. We met him, and Jim went right from New York to Belgium this year. I think that guy Arnie was there too.
Yeah. And
so he invited you to a show in Denmark?
Yeah, he invited me in September to a show in Denmark, which I still don't know if I'm gonna do or not, to be honest with you. Because again, for me, shows now in September. And shows for me, it's always, I gotta choose carefully, and because I don't want to stay away from the family for too long of a, too many times a year. Especially,
plus, don't you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Don't you find that shows get in the way of your work too?
Yeah, as well. Yeah, And that too, for sure. And especially like for a show like that, which I think it's more like a book fair. So it's not going to be like business. It's going to be more like,
right.
more like enjoy your time. But,
Right.
If I'm going to be there by myself,
right.
I don't even know, how much I would enjoy myself. And if I'm not going to make money, basically, I don't know, So
Yeah, I got you.
And especially, since we're going to Abu Dhabi in a month from now,
Exactly a month from now, yeah.
That takes away from my show days, my overall show days.
Sure. You know who's going to Abu Dhabi also?
Mm-hmm. Who?
Corn, who we just had on the podcast. Corn
Kaiser? Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he's going.
That's awesome, man. Because I didn't get I think he told us it was going to be in New York, but then I didn't get a chance to see him. I don't know if he didn't go eventually, or we just didn't cross paths. But it'd be cool to see him over there. Absolutely,
definitely.
So another good news about New York is that I somehow managed not to gain weight, which is like a fucking miracle.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did this happen? Because you weren't with me?
Well, yeah, that. No. I still had really nice dinners, so no. But what I would do is once I got a nice dinner one night, I would compensate the day after with a really light breakfast or no breakfast at all, and almost no lunch at all. I would just have a slice of pizza and that's it.
That's right.
Because
we only went out to lunch.
Yeah, we went out
twice.
Once or twice. Yeah, and even then, I managed to, how do you say, restrain myself a little bit.
That's right.
Is that the correct term?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. You were being good, Mattteo.
Yeah, I was being a good boy.
I remember this.
And whenever I would be a naughty boy, I would be double good the next day. Trying to compensate my naughtiness. So yeah, I managed not to gain weight. So I'm currently like 77 kilos, which is, it doesn't make sense to you because you reason in pounds, but it's it's like
but I remember you have
150, something like that.
You have a Oh, what? No, you are not 150 pounds.
Let me check.
That is way too light.
Let me check.
There's no way you're 150 pounds.
Okay, let me check.
That would make me 25 pounds heavier than you. No way.
Kilos.
This is not.
Okay.
He's way off. Way off.
No, it's 170. Sorry.
Yeah.
My math was all fucked up.
There you go.
170 though, which is from what I was before 87. I was 191, almost 192. So it's it's a good.
You lost a lot of weight.
Yeah. And I'm keeping like.
And how are you losing the weight? Just by.
So I'm using some tricks.
Is it exercise or diet?
Yeah, cocaine.
Okay, what are the tricks?
And amphetamines.
That's a great. Nothing better. There's no better way to lose weight.
It's healthy. It's
crystal
natural.
Meth, the best weight loss system. The new weight loss system, crystal meth.
So no, what I'm doing is that I'm trying to be good. So whenever I still have nice, I can have a nice lunch or a nice dinner with friends, but then I compensate. So if I have a nice, Sunday lunch, I'm not going to have dinner, or a really light dinner. And or if I have a really great dinner on Friday night with friends, then I'm gonna be good, the next 2 days and the weekend. And also I'm using a lot of trick food, which means it's food that's not.
What is trick food?
It's not. The calories are really low, so I can eat more of that. Because I can't.
Like what?
Well, there's a lot of cheeses here in Italy that are like low fats and low salt and whatever. So the calories are way lower than how that.
What kind of cheese is
there
that?
Are versions of already existing cheeses. So there's a specific mozzarella that I buy, which is not, of course, it's not as good as a normal mozzarella, but it's still mozzarella.
Right.
And
right.
So, but it has way less fat, and it has more proteins. And so I eat that, and I can eat like normally. If I would eat normal mozzarella, I could eat like 100 or 120 grams. And again, you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's basically one mozzarella.
Well, I do,
right? 120 grams is one ball, one mozzarella, one ball.
Right.
With this, I can eat two. Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
And, I have all this...
So you're still a fatty up in your head.
Yeah, absolutely. I gave up on that. I have to feel up my belly like a fucking pig that I am. But I'm doing it with lighter food. So in the end, I'm still happy. I feel that I ate it enough. Smart. Instead of just, looking at a sad mozzarella alone in the plate. And a small bowl of pasta, I can still eat, so I can feel satisfied, but not ingest too many.
Bowl of mozzarella,
but without ingesting too many calories. So and it's working out for me. So
that's good.
It's
good. All right, good. I do want to say at New York. So like I said, I had my daughter with me. But I've done shows with my family before when my kids were little, like you did in New York. And that's you there's no downtime, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It doesn't suck. It's difficult.
By the way, speaking of your daughter, sorry to interrupt again. I'm talking a lot during this podcast.
No, go ahead.
I have a lot to talk about.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
I love Zoe. She's the best. She's amazing. But what the fuck? Just learn how to walk through New York. It's so fucking easy. It's basically a fucking grid, She would get lost in a fucking grid. Jesus fucking Christ. She would just try to memorize buildings. Oh, okay, so I gotta get to that building and then turn left. Just watch the number on the street sign. Look at the number.
That's what I said.
And if you're on 3rd Street and you gotta go to 5th Street, you go up. You go whatever, like up north. It's so fucking easy. By the way, I love you, Zoe. If you're ever gonna be listening to this episode, I love you. It comes from a place of love, but Jesus Christ.
See, this is what people need to understand. This is how we show love.
Yeah.
We give each other shit.
Yeah. And now
from a very deep place.
Now your daughter officially entered the team, so she's gonna get shit too.
Yeah, as she should.
Yeah.
As she should. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say is, so having her there, but she's 21, she fit right in. She was like part of the team, and it was easy. It's just, I was trying to teach her how to navigate her way through New York, and she gets so anxious, like when she had to walk to the con alone because I was leaving earlier. And exactly, I was like, just go 1 block down and 1 block over. Wait. What's there? What's there? Is there Wells Fargo there? Is that where the coffee place is?
And I understand that way of doing things. If you're in I don't know, like, for example, like Parma, my hometown, the streets are structured in a weird way, So I understand that way of thinking. Okay, let's remember this coffee shop, and then you turn left, and then after a while you see a computer shop, and then you turn right. I understand a way of doing it, but with New York, it's so easy. So it was the first days. I wasn't realizing that was the problem. So we would have breakfast together, and then we had to walk back to your hotel, and then walk to the show. And I was like, why the fuck are we doing
drop
this?
Her off.
And then I realized, and I want inside there was a voice inside of me that was like, so you're fucking stupid. But I didn't say it. I'm sorry, Zoe. I'm sorry. It's just for the show. It's just because it's fun. I love you. I love you. I love you.
But Zoe's getting to know that there's an asshole in Matteo's brain.
They rarely show, so don't worry, Zoe. Face to face, I will never do that. I'll just say it publicly on a podcast with 800 people listening.
Right,
to it.
for the whole world to hear.
By the way, her Instagram handle is no.
Ink goblins.
So you can insult her on her page. But by the way, I wanted to say it was lovely to see you instructing her about life and about how friends act with each other. So you were you were teaching her, not instructing her. Instructing is kind of harsh term. And you were teaching her, so when we go, to dinner together, you can decide if you want to offer everyone. Otherwise, we split the cost of the dinner evenly. And and sometimes, if somebody gets you lunch, so next time you get breakfast, you get them, breakfast, which, you don't have to do it. But, at the same time, it was nice. It is something that it got to me. I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna teach that to my kid as well. How to behave,
cool.
when they're.
That's cool.
No, it's gonna be a long time from now because it's just 2 years old.
Yes,
but yeah, when he's if I'm still alive when he's 18, I would love to teach him this kind of practical things.
I mean, that was a big part of her coming along. Was I want if she wants to do this for a living, and I wanted her to see I think we do cons really well. Our crew, we work hard. We're professionals. We don't fuck around. We don't show up at the floor at 2 p.m. We come in before it opens. But then at night, we always have a nice dinner and a couple drinks, and we go to bed, and we have nice breakfast. We have good lunches. So there's a way to do this where you can work hard and be a professional and still have a good time with your friends. And I wanted her to think about this. If you're going to be doing shows, because it took us a while to figure this out. I mean, when I first started doing shows, I would drink till the sun came up and then sleep through the con and show up at 3 and it was just stupid.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that came across.
By the way, I've never asked you, but did you guys manage not to get COVID after the show?
Yeah, we never got it.
Fuck, because for
we
us,
never got it. And the fucked up thing is,
no, go ahead.
Go ahead. We went to Jason's after the con, and we were there when Mo got sick. So the day we left, we didn't even see Mo. She was in bed. Yeah, she got COVID.
Oh, shit.
So she was in bed. We were in the house. We were hanging out, eating meals, playing Jason's arcade games, and Mo was upstairs sick. So, and we still didn't get it. So that I thought for sure one of us would get it, but we didn't. But you guys got fucked up.
Yeah, we got fucked up. So the first one to fall was Mr. Tommy Lee Edwards, which I haven't heard from him in a while. Yeah. So he
left the show early.
Yeah. He left the show early because he was feeling sick, and then he found out it was COVID, and he texted us telling us, "Hey, I got COVID, just so you know. I'm telling you because all of the fucking that we did the other night, so that was his text message. So he was the first one, the patient zero in our group. And then and then Loli got it as soon as he got back home. Then Francesca, my girlfriend, got it the very next day. And I resisted for a couple of days, and then I got it too. Or I think the day after. The only two Italians who survived were the two Elias, my son and Elia Bonetti.
Oh, your son never got it? I thought he was going to get it.
It's crazy. Like it would get sick every single time last year. This year so far, like what do you do? Touch wood,
happens.
touch whatever. But
knock on wood.
Yeah, knocking on wood is he's amazing. His defenses are incredible. So far so good. He's not getting anything. It's amazing.
Awesome. Did you get really sick, or was it pretty mild?
It was pretty bad. But as soon as I understood I had COVID, I immediately started taking ibuprofen at the right time. So, and no matter what, like I ignore the fact, like even if I'm not feeling symptoms right now, I'm just going to get ibuprofen at this time of the day. So I would take 3 every day at a specific time, no matter what. So, there was some times in which I felt really weak and sore everywhere. But generally speaking, I got it, I got away pretty easy.
That's good. Yeah, everyone got it. I mean, so many people from New York got it. But it was bound to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty manageable now. I don't think we gotta live in fear of this thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I want to tell you something funny.
Yeah.
One of our promos was airing on my social media, and I got a DM from someone in my yoga class, and on the promo you were talking.
Yeah.
And she DM'd me. She's like, "When did you cut your hair?" And this is someone I see regularly. And I thought she was kidding. I was like, "I know, we look alike." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Wait, are you being serious?" She's like, "Yeah, did you cut your hair?" She's like, "I just saw you. You didn't have your hair cut." I was like, "That's my best friend." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "We look alike." But she totally thought you were me. And what's funny is you were talking. I guess she had it on mute, because if you heard your voice,
or I guess she's just fucking dumb.
Was hilarious.
Maybe. Don't tell her.
Yeah, could be that.
No, this is gonna be the next clip.
I would never tell her that.
No. Okay, Jamie, this is gonna be the next clip, so she'll see it. So what's her name?
It's Marquette.
Marquette. Hear me out. You're fucking dumb, all right? Fucking dumb bitch.
Oh my god. That's fucking hysterical. Oh, dude, my sides hurt from that one. That was fucking hilarious.
You're probably even more dumb than Zoe. Just know that, all right?
I love that you double down. Oh my god, that shit hurts. Oh my god, it hurts. Oh my god. Oh fuck, that was good. That's good. Oh, okay.
It's good to get it out of the system sometimes. Call somebody dumb or idiot.
Yeah, remember we talked about the asshole in your head? I don't think he's in your head. I think he came out.
It's the new camera. It makes it get out.
It's the new camera. It brings out the asshole in Mattteo.
So,
all right. So we covered New York.
Yes. So speaking of shows, you guys did. You and Eric did another show a few weeks ago.
Yes. Okay. We did a show in Tennessee. called Music City Multicon. Now, I want to say the hosts of the show were awesome, and they were very generous, and they took great care of us. And they're fans of the podcast too.
Awesome.
So it's Music City is Nashville. So I assume we're doing a show in Nashville. So we fly to Nashville, and we were guests of the show. They paid for everything and took care of us. So we get to Nashville, and we get an email that says, this is who and what will pick you up. And there's a picture of a van. Now, this van, if you can go back in time to the 70s, what we did was we called it the Pussy Wagon. If you saw Kill Bill, you know what the Pussy Wagon looks like. It looked like that. It was a van that was multicolored, striped, with like those little circular windows on the side. It was right out of the 70s. So we get off. I meet up with Eric, and we're like, let's go find the Pussy Wagon. And everyone called it the Pussy Wagon. So we get outside, and it's hard to miss the Pussy Wagon. It's just beaming right there. So we walk up, and we meet our new friend, Kyle. Kyle's the driver for the weekend of the Pussy Wagon. And so we're like, all right, this is a big van. This should fit a bunch of us and all of our luggage. So Kyle opens the back to the Pussy Wagon, and the back seat comes right up to the back door. There's not even 3 inches to put luggage there. It just comes right up to the back. So Kyle throws our bags over the back seat into the back seat, like our big ass luggage. I was like, this sucks for Kyle. Like this, I mean, and it's a van, so it's high up. Like he's tossing our bags over the seat. We're like, I don't know how this is going to be functional at all. So Eric and I get in, and we meet Kyle. So Kyle's chatty, and we're asking questions about the show. And Kyle, I get the feeling, and I might be wrong about this, Kyle is really into wrestling, but not so into comics.
Okay,
because this show had
Kyle?
Just as many. Kyle looked to be in his mid to late 30s, maybe early 40s, mid to late 30s, probably is what I guess. Okay, mid 30s, let's say that. So and this show had a lot of professional wrestlers there, much more than comic book artists. So we get in the van, and Kyle's talking about he just went to a hacker con, which I've never even heard of this thing. It's a convention where computer hackers all.
I went to one years ago. Yeah. So I know
what.
Yeah.
You went to where? In Italy?
Parma. Yeah, in Parma. They used an abandoned building.
What? And
they built all this fucking cool shit with, computers, cables everywhere. There was a lot of hackers working.
Yes, that's what he said.
Yeah.
And they have to hack into each other's computers. And the person who hacks into the most systems wins.
Oh, okay. So there's the competition going on
for the spectator.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Kyle loved it. Kyle went on and on about this cool ass hacker con. Eric and I were very confused, but I was like, okay, Kyle. And so we're waiting. We were waiting for Jason, our art dealer. His flight was late, and he said there was an actor and the actor's agent were coming too. So we're chatting, and I'm like, all right, well, is the hotel in downtown? No. Okay, that's red flag number 1. How far from downtown is the hotel? It's about a 35-minute drive.
Jesus.
Okay, so we are not going to Nashville. Yeah, this is where it starts to fall apart. We're not going to Nashville, Kyle? No, you're going to Lebanon. It's spelled Lebanon, but in Tennessee they pronounce it Lebanon.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, all right. I start panicking, but I'm like, wait a minute. You know where my brain goes? Food. I was like, well, wait a minute, Kyle. I can deal with Lebanon. Is there good food around the hotel? Oh, yeah, you guys are going to love it. Right next to the hotel is an Outback Steakhouse. And on the other side of the hotel is a Chili's. And then there's a Bojangles, which is fast food, and a Subway, which is fast food.
Okay, I'm starting to see.
So Kyle, I'm like
that Kyle tastes in terms of food are, vastly different from ours.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's say Kyle's taste in food might be similar to Jason.
Jason's. Okay. Our Jason would have loved to have all the dinners with Kyle. Okay, let's put it this way.
Yes. So I'm like, there's got to be other options. I was like, is there anything else around there? No. Like a hard no. I was like, I mean, I'm in Nashville. There's got to be some barbecue somewhere. Well, there's a barbecue place near the convention center. Okay, cool. But the convention center is a 10-minute drive from the hotel.
Holy shit.
Wait a minute. So our hotel is 35 minutes from downtown Nashville and 10 minutes drive from the convention center.
Not walk, drive.
So we are in the middle of No, drive. You cannot walk it. No. So we're like, Eric and I are like, what are we going to do? So I'm like, there's got to be other shit there. So we're waiting in the van. The actor guy comes with his agent. He was, his name was Andreas or something. He was one of the Russian soldiers in Stranger Things. He was like a Russian bad guy in John Wick. And so off we go for our 35-minute drive to Lebanon. We get to the hotel, and it's like it's not a high rise. It's like one of those hotels with like 3 stories, like a Marriott Courtyard or a Fairfield. And it's not bad. It's clean. It's new. It's not bad, but it's nothing super nice about it. We're checking in, and I'm like, when we get there, I look around. I see an Outback. I see the Chili's. I see the Bojangles, and I see the Subway, and nothing else anywhere. There's the only thing near us is a Home Depot and 2 other hotels. Nothing. So I'm like, okay, we're checking in, and I say to the woman checking us in, I was like, "Where's the hotel bar?" Oh, we don't have one.
Holy shit!
Like, wait. What am I gonna? What's gonna happen here? She goes, "You can go to Outback, and they have a bar." I'm like, "Yeah, but their bar is gonna close at like 10. I'm gonna need something to knock me out because I'm in the middle of nowhere." And so Eric and I check in our room, and Eric starts looking at DoorDash options. What are we gonna do for dinner? Meanwhile, Jason is landing now. Like, he was so late, we left, and Kyle said he would go back for Jason. So Eric starts looking at DoorDash. All the other restaurants are so far away from us, they will not DoorDash from there to our hotel.
Fuck.
So DoorDash is
a nightmare
it's not
over
an option.
a nightmare over another
Uber Eats.
nightmare. Jesus.
So Jason gets there. Hey guys, there's an Outback. You hungry? We're like, so we're like, we're starving. There's no other options. What are we gonna do? And we're looking at like, how far is it to Uber to somewhere in downtown? That's when we really discover it's a far ride, and it'll be about $150 there and back to get downtown.
Jesus Christ!
So off we go to Outback Steakhouse. Yeah, off we go to Outback Steakhouse, and Jason opens the menu, and it's all pictures. And Jason goes, "I love a restaurant with pictures on the menu."
Of course. I had no doubt about that.
Dude, of course. He was so excited. He got the cheesy fries appetizer, which I took one bite of. I couldn't even. It was so gross. It was so gross. We got fillets, like we got steaks, we got fillets, and I got a side salad. The salad, I was like, I need something healthy. I was like, I'll get a side salad. The salad was like the cheapest, most disgusting chopped iceberg lettuce with pieces of pecans that were covered in candy and blue cheese. It was disgusting. And the steak, I figured out, like, I haven't had Outback since I was, I don't know, 20 years ago. the steak was the most flavorless meat you could imagine, but they put tons and tons of seasoning on it. So it's like the opposite of what a good steak is. So I just kept ordering wine. And then, Matteo, the wine selection was nothing to be proud of. So I just had a bunch of wine. I got back to the room. Eric is getting to his boiling point at this point. And he's still looking on his phone. Like, what are we going to do all fucking weekend?
Is turning into Grumpy Ed.
Yes. Grumpy Ed was in full effect. And then we realized this thing. Wait a minute. We have to get up in the morning, get in the pussy wagon with everyone, go to the convention center, and we are stuck there until the end of the convention when the pussy wagon will take us home. But the pussy wagon isn't big enough for everyone. And it's a 10-minute drive there and back. So it's 20 minutes you have to wait between loading up the pussy wagon.
Jesus.
So this is becoming a very quick nightmare.
How long was the show? Like, how many days? It was,
here's the other thing. We got in there Thursday because, we usually get in on Thursday and the show starts Friday. But we didn't realize the show started Friday at 4 p.m.
Oh, shit.
And we got in Thursday. We got in Thursday at 2 p.m. I was like, Eric, we're going to have the entire day of sitting in our hotel room because there's nothing to do. And so we have our dinner. We get back. And Jason Shawn Alexander is also going to be a guest.
Oh, okay.
And so he texts me. I got in bed. I took like twice as much of a gummy as I would normally take just to knock me out. And so Eric and I are watching TV, waiting for this gummy to kick in. And Jason Shawn texts me. He just landed. And I just texted him back. I was like, go home. Go home. Don't come.
The first flight back home.
He's like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, I just had a gummy. I've had a nightmare experience so far. I'm going to go to bed. He's like, well, look, I'm going to get there in about 30 minutes. Let's smoke a joint and then you can just go to bed. I was like, all right, just text me. If I don't answer, I fell asleep. So I doze off for like 10 minutes. I wake up and I see like Jason texted me. He's out front. This is where it got bizarre.
Oh, okay. So it's
go
not
outside. Mattteo, we're not even on the show hasn't even started yet. It's still Thursday. So we're going to go over an hour on this podcast, but it'll be worth it. So I go downstairs and there's Jason Shawn standing in front of the hotel, smoking a joint. And next to him is a grown man in narrow toe pajamas talking to Jason. I'm like, I guess Jason knows this guy. So I go out there and the guy and Jason are talking and Jason introduces me to him. So I'm like, maybe he's just another artist who's here. Jason knows. And
it was Kyle.
The conversation turns to where, no. Dude, this guy is much worse than Kyle. Kyle was a nice guy. He was just a little awkward at times. This guy we all start talking about where we're from. This guy's from Atlanta. Oh, I'm from Atlanta. But he's from an area outside Atlanta that I've heard of. I've never been. And I'm from where I'm from in Alpharetta. So that's when Jason says, oh, I live in LA. And the guy who has a heavy Southern accent is like, I could never live there. And Jason goes, oh, why? You don't like good weather? Like Jason was being very sarcastic. And the guy goes, no, I can't have a gun there.
Holy
and
shit.
Jason's like, but I know people with guns. Of course you can have a gun there. He goes, yeah, but you can't walk around with it. And Jason's like, what? He goes, yeah, if I go to Walmart, I need to have my gun with me.
Of course.
And so Jason, yeah, he needs it. And so Jason's like, are you a sheriff? He goes, no, I just need to protect myself.
No. You know what he does?
He goes, I don't know.
He just goes to the grocery store. Then he lines up bottles of milk and he shoots them from across the aisle.
Target practice in the store. So the guy goes, I don't know where you guys stand on stuff, so we don't need to talk about it. I was like, okay, it's probably a good idea.
How old was this guy?
Talking about it. This guy looked to be 35.
Okay.
30, like Kyle, same age as Kyle. But remember, he's in Naruto pajamas. Just keep that in mind. And so I'm like, this is not good. We need to get out of this conversation. And by this point, my gummies have kicked in. So I'm high as can be. And I'm smoking this joint Jason has. And Jason tells me as he hands it to me, he's like, oh, I buy the really strong stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll just take a puff. So I take a puff and I'm not on the planet anymore. And Jason's stoned out of his mind. And this guy doesn't smoke weed. We found that much out. He's like, that shit fucks with me.
And we don't want that.
He's smoking a cigarette. Me. So, right. So all of this happened in the duration of one cigarette.
Okay.
Because that guy's smoking a cigarette. Jason starts talking again about LA and how expensive it is. I'm like, Jay, I'm telling you, move to Atlanta. We could have a studio. It'd be awesome. Atlanta's a great city. And Jason's wife is an actress. And so that's why they're in LA. I was like, but, in Atlanta, there's a lot of movies being filmed there and a lot of TV. And he's like, yeah, I know. My wife, Jason's wife, gets flown from LA to Atlanta to appear in Tyler Perry TV shows often. Mm-hmm. Do you know Tyler Perry?
The name is not new to me, but yeah, okay.
Okay, so Tyler Perry is, I believe he started as a comedian. He's a black guy, and he built an empire. And he has a whole movie TV studio in Atlanta called Tyler Perry Studios. And they pump out, like, it's almost its own network. Mm-hmm. They put out so much material all the time. He's like one of the most powerful people in all of TV and movie entertainment.
Got it.
And most of his entertainment is geared very much to black audience. Mm-hmm. So Jason's wife gets flown out to be on these shows. And this is when our buddy Naruto goes, why? Does she want to be hated? And Jason knows exactly what's happening. I don't know what's happening. Jason knows what's happening. So Jason goes, why would my wife want to be hated? And he goes, well, white people only go on that show because they're the characters that everyone hates. And Jason is just looking at him. And that's where I'm like, oh boy, this is not going to go well. And then he goes, wait, is your wife white? And Jason goes, no. and that's when this guy says, his exact words is, oh, well, where I'm from, mixed couples are a taboo. And Jason looks at me like, did he just say mixed couples? And so that's when I was like, we have to go. Like, it is time to go. And the guy puts out his cigarette, is like, I'm going to go, y'all. And he leaves. And Jason and I are just standing there for like a minute waiting for him to walk away. And he walks away. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Jesus.
I was like, who is that guy? He's like, I don't know. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is he an artist? I thought you knew him. I out here talking. He's like, no, I just met him. I was like, is he an artist? He goes, no. I was like, he's just here for the con. He goes, no, he doesn't even know what this con is. He's a contractor.
Just wandering around dressed as Naruto.
And Naruto, yes.
Jesus Christ.
He was leaving the next morning. So, dude, this is within 5 hours of me landing in Tennessee. So we just go to bed. And the next morning we wake up. I'm like, Eric, I just want a nice cup of coffee. And the other thing is the breakfast. The only breakfast option, because Outback doesn't have breakfast. Chili's doesn't have breakfast. Bojangles has breakfast, but that's not an option for me.
Okay.
And the only option was the hotel lobby breakfast. It wasn't a restaurant. It was not like, you don't sit down. There's no menu. Lobby. It's just a hotel lobby breakfast. Mm. Yeah. And I was like, Eric, I can't. I just can't. I can't do this. I can't. And he's like, don't worry. We're going to get some good coffee and we're going to have a nice breakfast. And he's looking on his phone. Nothing. He finds a Panera. I'm like, all right, okay. Panera and Starbucks. I was like, not great, but
Well,
it's better than what we have.
Decent. All right.
So
you can do it. Yeah.
Decent. Yeah. So we can do it. Yes. So we get an Uber. We go to Panera. We have it's the worst Panera I've ever been in. It's so shitty. We
Even
have
as a chain,
just an awful breakfast.
Supposed to be serving the same things everywhere.
Right. That's what I said. I came home. I was like, God, like I was talking to my family. I was like, have you been to Panera lately? And they're like, yeah. Why? I was like, it's shitty now. They're like, no, what are you talking about? It's like, well, the Panera I went to in Lebanon, Tennessee was shitty. So we finish our breakfast and Eric's like, dude, we have all day. He's like, are you cool if we...
He's getting to me now.
Laughing.
Like the first two things with Kyle and the thing, all right. And now it's getting to me. So now I can't stop laughing. All right.
All right, good.
Okay.
So Eric says, let's just walk back. The app says it's an hour walk, and we're just so miserable. We're like, fuck it, let's walk back. So we walk an hour back to the hotel. The thing is, the walk, there's no highways. It's all like neighborhoods with zero sidewalk.
Holy
so we're
shit.
walking as cars are whizzing within inches of us the whole way. And we're about 10 minutes from the hotel and we see a tunnel up ahead. I'm like, Eric, there's a fucking tunnel up there. There's no sidewalk. We can't walk through a tunnel without sidewalks. We're going to get fucking murdered. And we're like, I don't know what we're going to do. We're looking, and the top of the tunnel is a fence. So you can't go that way, or if you climb the fence, maybe you can, but it was like a tall fence, like 6 feet tall. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's time for us to die. Maybe it's just, we'll go in there and that'll be it. And this whole Lebanon nightmare will be over. Well, we get to the tunnel. There's a sidewalk there and we get through and we're walking. Eric goes, I think we need to rent a car. And I think he's kidding. I'm like, yeah, that would be awesome. But in my head, I'm doing the math. I'm like, it's going to cost a bunch of money and we're going to have to drive everywhere. And we just keep walking and walking and walking. And we finally get back to the room. And Eric's like, on the walk, we decided Eric needed to get to an art store. And we were going to go downtown. There's a really good art store. And we were going to get lunch downtown. And Jason Shawn is texting us now. What are you guys doing? And we're getting close to the hotel. We're like, we're just getting back from breakfast. And Jason Shawn is from this area.
Oh, okay.
He was born and raised in Tennessee.
Okay.
So he's like, my buddies still live here. They told me where to go for lunch. I was like, all right, we're going to go to the art store. We'll just take an Uber. And he's like, all right, great.
And then you find out
Eric
that
and I get back
his
to the
buddy
room.
was the Naruto guy. They became friends after.
yeah. The Naruto guy was our personal driver for the weekend. So we get back to the room and Eric rented a car. He's like, all right, let's go pick up the car. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I just rented one. There's an Enterprise. We can take an Uber there. And we have a car all weekend. And I was like, all right, thank fucking God. Thank fucking God. So we go to the Enterprise in Lebanon, Tennessee, which is an interesting place. We get the car. We come back. We text Jason Shawn. We're like, let's get the fuck out of here. And we go. And we drive 35 minutes to downtown Nashville.
Finally.
Now, downtown Nashville is awesome. It is a cool city.
Oh, finally, one good news about this fucking experience, man. Jesus Christ, I was getting depressed.
Yeah, but it's like... Well, I mean,
it's painful.
Is it good if you've got something so wonderful that you can't really access very often? It's just a tease. So we go to the art store and then we meet Jason Shawn's local friend for lunch, who is a really cool guy. He does a body piercing. Mm-hmm. They grew up together. They lived together. They used to do body piercing together. And so he met us at this place called Assembly Food Hall, which was a giant like outdoor area with anything you wanted to eat. Mm-hmm. They had a restaurant for anything. They had barbecue, poke, Mexican, bao, fried chicken. They had Nashville hot chicken. Like they had everything. And it was all delicious. So we had an incredible lunch. And we're like, all right, Eric saved the day. We have a car. So we have lunch and we go back. And remember, the con starts at 4. So we get back. It's like 2. We hop in the shower. We get to the show. And the convention is not in a convention center.
Oh God.
It's in this thing called a farm expo center. It consists of 2 large buildings, 2 small buildings, and a whole bunch of stables for horses and cattle and stuff like that. So the one large building is the convention center. It's basically a barn. We're in a giant barn. This is the convention. We have a green room. We have a green room with some snacks.
There's grass. That's why it's the green room.
Right. There's nowhere to eat. And then there's like 4 little like restaurant kiosks. There was one that was like shitty barbecue, one that was like shitty pizza, and one that was like just general shitty food. So, but we're stuck. We have no other options. They give us tickets for free lunches, which is great. That's nice. And but we're stuck there. We had to eat it. Now, and the other thing is the show is dead. Mattteo, I've never seen a show this dead before. And look, Essential Sequential was there. We were deep. It was me, Eric, Tim Townsend, Andrew Robinson, Carrie Nord, all there.
Oh, yeah, you were a pretty big bunch
everyone
of
was like,
yeah.
I've never seen. Yeah, no one's ever seen a show this dead. Like maybe they sold 50 tickets, maybe 100 at most.
Fuck.
For the entire convention. It was brutal. So I felt really bad for the organizers because, I mean, they put some money into this. I mean, they flew us all out. They put us all up. They fed us.
Yeah.
And they gave a bunch of people appearance fees. And there were actors there. Like Danny Trejo was a guest.
Holy shit.
Like, I can't imagine how much how much did you pay Danny Trejo to be there? So there were actors there and there was no attendees. So it's 4:00. We get there, and by 5:00, we're like, "What time does this end?" And it ends at 8. So we're like, all right, but they have a big welcome dinner for everyone, for all the guests, in one of the smaller buildings. So we're getting through the show. Yeah. So we're getting through the show. Jason, we're setting up. You're in a barn. I mean, you're in a barn. So we're setting up. We're just sitting there. We're sitting there. And I'm like, Eric, are we going to go downtown for dinner? Or are we going to do the dinner here? And it had gotten to be so late. We were like, by the time we get downtown, it's Friday night. Downtown's going to be packed. Mm-hmm. Let's just eat here. Shawn has a dinner with Chris Bichello, who's another guest of the show. And so they go off and do their thing. Eric and I stick around for the welcome dinner, and all day long the people who work at the convention are coming by like, you guys gonna stay for dinner? Like, yeah. Like, oh, you're gonna love it, dinner's awesome, it's always great, they have great food. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool, that's great. So the food was not great. I don't think they know what good food is there. It was edible.
Okay.
It was decent. Okay. It was not great.
Okay.
There was free drinks, but it was nice. It was really nice of them. The organizers came by and we talked to them all, and we had a great time just talking. And we're in the room with all the wrestlers and like wrestlers from my childhood. So I'm like sneaking pictures and sending them to my brother, and we're nerding out. And we get back to the hotel that night and smoke another joint and go to bed. And the next morning we get up. I'm like, all right, what are we doing today, Eric? I'm not going back to that fucking Panera. He's like, nope. I found a local bakery. I was like, all right, let's go. Local bakery. That's good. So we go to local bakery, and it was good. It was like, it wasn't healthy. It was like a fried chicken,
but still,
piece of fried chicken on a biscuit, which I love a chicken biscuit. And it was very good. But they were like, do you want, as a side, do you want hash brown casserole or do you want fruit? Well, I should have been good, Shawn, but I'm like, I want that fucking hash brown casserole.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious. And Eric gets a hash brown casserole too. When it comes out, it's a styrofoam cup. All I see on top is oil, and underneath the oil, cheese. And I look at it. I'm like, nope. And I just push aside. I'm like, I'm not even going to go in there. Eric goes in, takes a bite. It was like You made the right call. Don't go in there. It's disgusting. Now, they also had homemade donuts. So we got a big box of donuts, which, Jason was very happy about. We brought it to the con. Day 2 of the con, dead.
Even more than the day
so
before?
Dead. It's a Saturday, so it was a tiny bit busier. But I mean, when I say tiny bit, maybe if 5 people stopped by the essential sequential booth, that's about what stopped by.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somehow, this is the mystery of the whole show. Everyone made some money.
Huh?
Like, we all left with some money. Like, how did that happen? I mean, we all got like 1 or 2 commissions, and we did a whatnot show, and we sold a few things. I mean, Andrew sold a cover, so somehow we all made money. But the cool thing was, because it was so slow, everyone just started trading art. So like Jason,
awesome.
Shawn traded a piece of art with me. He traded a piece of art, Chris Bocello. So we left the show like that was a weird weekend, but it was cool. In some ways, it was very cool.
It made sense.
So
somehow
Saturday, the
end.
show happens. Yeah, it's strange. So, midday Saturday, we're all falling asleep, and we're just like, there's coffee in the convention center, but it's not great, but we have another choice. So we get the coffee. So that when we went to lunch the other day and we were leaving downtown, I saw a steakhouse called Hand Cut. It looked like a fancy, nice steakhouse. So we spent the day figuring out what we're going to do for dinner that night. Me, Eric, Jason Shawn, Jason Schachter, and Jason Shawn's friend was going to meet us. We made a reservation at that steakhouse, and we left the show. So since we had a car, we didn't have to take the pussy wagon to and from the convention, which was great. Eric drove us. So we go down to the steakhouse, and we had an amazing dinner.
Oh, that's
cool. But when we first got there, we parked, and there was this downtown Nashville was fucking awesome. There's the biggest concert hall I've ever seen in my life, and it was brand new, and it was designed beautifully. It was like the length of 2 city blocks, and we walked along it, and we turned the corner, and there's the main strip of Nashville, which they call Nash Vegas. Mm-hmm. It's like Vegas. It's all neon lights and bar, and every bar had live music. No DJs, live music. So and the windows are open, the doors are open. So all you heard was music everywhere. People all in the streets. You walk by one bar, it was playing metal. The next bar, country. The next bar, rock and roll. Next bar was a punk bar, and it was awesome. Like, there was so much life there. I'm like, if the fucking convention was down here, this would be the coolest show to do.
Yeah.
So we walked the whole length of that street, and then we went and had the most amazing meal. And it's such a cool city because everywhere you go, they have live music. So in the middle of the steakhouse is a stage.
Holy shit.
And we sat right in front of the stage, and there was a 3-piece acoustic guitar band playing songs and talking. It was amazing. We had a great meal. And then Sunday comes, and I don't even remember Sunday's breakfast. We did Friday, was Saturday. I don't remember what we did for breakfast. Oh, Starbucks. We just went to Starbucks. Yeah. Eric needed to get some stuff at CVS, so we just did Starbucks. We get to the show, and there's no one. Mattteo, nobody. Nobody came. I mean, we kept like looking at each other like, what the fuck? And one of the organizers came and talked to us, was like, I'm sorry about this. Every year we have a few thousand people. This year we are a few thousand tickets shy of what we normally do. So they basically told us that, like, they usually have 2,000 guests. This year they were 2,000 tickets shy of reaching their guests. So we're just, I feel awful. Like, and this is the first year they put money into the show. Yeah. They put money in by bringing in actors and wrestlers and artists, and they thought this was going to help grow the show. I don't know what happened, but usually it's a busy show, and Sunday was was just abysmal.
Yeah, maybe as you said, they should just move it to the main area somehow.
Well, that's what we thought. Yeah. So Sunday took forever to get through. And then
imagine.
We went back downtown. We went back to the downtown area. We went back to that food hall to get dinner. When we went for lunch, Eric and Jason Shawn got the barbecue, which was some of the best barbecue I've ever had. I got poke, but when we went back, I got the barbecue. Eric got the barbecue again, and Jason got the barbecue, and it was fucking amazing. And we went and had ice cream afterwards, so Jason was happy about that. And Eric's like, okay, he's trying to figure out how to return the car the next morning. And it says Enterprise at the airport doesn't open until 6 a.m. Eric's flight was at 7:30, and we had to get to the airport at like 5 because we were going to eat breakfast in the Delta Lounge. And I'm like, dude, don't worry. There's going to be a car drop off. But so we get up at 3:30 to just get the fuck out of there. And we get down there, get rid of the car, get to the Delta Lounge. We have a nice chill breakfast. I'm finally back home before noon on Monday after the weirdest weekend of a con experience I think I've ever had. So that's my Nashville story.
Well, at least it was an experience, man. Like, it's a story.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know after the sponsorship how many people are going to be interested in attending the show, but still an experience.
My hope is it does better. It's like it sucks to see something like this happen because it typically does well, and I don't know what happened this year.
Yeah.
But we were like, why maybe move the show downtown.
Yeah, that could be an idea. So they told you that every year they do the show there in the barn area. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in that
so they had no clue why this year nobody attended.
No clue. And we tried to figure it out too. I mean, some people thought because it was the weekend after New York or 2 weeks after New York Comic-Con, I was like, I don't think the people that come to this show are going to New York Comic-Con. I don't see that being an issue. It was Halloween weekend, but I think that would have helped a convention. I don't think it would have hurt a convention. So I don't know, man. It was a strange weekend.
Yeah, I got you, brother. Well, let's close in on that. Like we had, there's a lot of other shit that I would love to talk about, but it's getting late here.
We'll save it.
We'll save it. 1 hour and 21 minutes in.
This is the longest podcast ever. All right, cool. So, all right, yeah. So let's end it here, and thank you for doing this, Mattteo.
And I'll see
next
you
week.
Guys.
We are back with who?
With Todd McFarlane, the GOAT.
Oh, that's right, the Todd father. And we're actually recording it tomorrow, so I am pumped.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to end this, but hang out. Remember, we got to let this upload, and I want to talk to you for a second. So thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks for dealing with our con stories today. I hope you enjoyed it. What the fuck was that? This is the Inkpulp Podcast. This is the Inkpulp Podcast. Comics, hip hop, life.